Kid, you wouldn't happen to know where I am right now. My car broke down late at night in the middle of nowhere. Oh well, at least there's a big bright full moon out. Of course, the moon itself doesn't actually produce any light. It just reflects light from the sun. Ooh, wait, I think I see someone up ahead. Yeah, maybe he can point me in the right direction. Excuse me, mister. A little help?
What are you doing out here? Alone? At night?
I was just going for a drive, but my car broke down.
A drive? Don't you know it's bad luck to travel during a full moon?
Oh, the moon isn't bad luck. The moon's our friend. Look how bright it is out, even though there's no streetlights. And look how big and full it is tonight. The moon's over here. You're looking the wrong way.
Trust me, it's better if I don't look at the moon. But I can feel it. It's like it's right on top of me.
Well, it practically is. At only 238,900 miles away, the moon is the closest celestial body to the Earth. And at the moon's closest approach to the Earth, known as the perigee, the moon comes as close as 225,623 miles. And at the apogee, the farthest the moon gets from Earth, the moon is 252,088 miles away. Did you know you could drive to the moon in 100 days if you drove 100 miles an hour? Which is not a good idea. And I can't drive anywhere right now because my car is dead. Which reminds me, mister, do you know which way is the nearest gas station?
No, but I strongly advise you to walk away before the moon affects me.
Ah, it's true. They say the moon can affect your emotions. And the fuller the moon, the stronger an effect it can have on you.
Believe me, I know.
Okay, smarty pants, but do you know what the moon is made out of, or how it got so many craters, or how the moon was even formed in the first place?
Could you please stop saying moon? Oh boy, I just looked at it. Yep, here we go.
Oh, that's why you didn't want to look at the moon. You're a werewolf.
Yup.
And do you know why wolves howl at the moon?
Because... no.
Well, then it's time for another whiff of science on...
Who smarted? Who smarted? Who's smart? Is it you? Is it me? Is it science or history? Listen up, everyone. We make smarting lots of fun on Who Smarted.
2, 1, 0. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. It's one small step for man.
Okay, smarty pants. We all know the Earth revolves around the sun. But do you know what the moon revolves around? That's right, us, the Earth. But how long does it take for the moon to revolve around the Earth? A week? A month? 6 months? A year? If you said about a month, you're right. Now, unless you're a werewolf, chances are you enjoy seeing the moon at night. I know I do. Of course, sometimes you can see it during the day, and it's not always visible every night thanks to clouds or fog or the position of the sun. But you're not alone in being intrigued by the moon. The moon has fascinated people on Earth for as long as there have been people on Earth. Mainly because for many centuries, people on Earth didn't have any answers about the mysterious glowing orb in the night sky.
What is that thing anyway?
But they were interested. And in 1609, an Italian scientist named Galileo developed a new kind of telescope and pointed it at the moon.
Mamma mia, look at that! Those differences in color we see on the moon are actually shadows. I suspect they're caused by an uneven surface of mountains and...
And what? What's all over the surface of the moon? Do you know? Did you say craters? While telescopes are still used today, eventually spacecraft, without humans on them, were sent to the moon to take photographs. That was in 1964.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles!
And then, in 1969, The United States was the first country to send humans to the moon.
One giant leap for mankind.
Astronauts were able to collect maybe the most valuable information of all, actual moon matter. They came back with samples of dirt and rock from the moon's surface. You can bet everyone on Earth was eager to see that stuff, but maybe not smell it. Did you know that moon dirt carries with it a certain stench?
P.U.
That's right. The astronauts described the smell as something scorched like ashes, but it couldn't really be studied because the smell faded once the dirt arrived in the labs on Earth.
Well, I just smell Neil and Buzz.
Strange odors aside, between the information modern scientists collected from telescopes, spacecraft photos, and lunar missions, they concluded the moon is actually made up of, well, pretty much the same stuff Earth is made up of. Surprised? Many people were. They expected the moon to be made up of some strange or wacky materials.
Cheese!
No, the moon is not made of cheese. Instead, the moon is made up of mostly iron. And its mantle, the middle layer of the moon, is made up of rocks and elements similar to Earth's and its neighboring planets. And knowing this could actually give us a clue of how the moon came to be. Any guesses? Some scientists got the idea that the moon isn't just like the Earth, it's actually a part of Earth. Picture this.
In a world billions of years ago, in a galaxy just like this one, because it is this one, the Earth was a young planet, basking in the warmth of the sun, without a care in the universe when it was pummeled by asteroids. A chunk of the planet was knocked clean off and sent flying into space. From that day, the Earth would carry on, forever gazing upon its missing chunk, which continues to follow it around the galaxy.
Now, we don't know for sure if this is how the moon was formed, but it makes a lot of sense. Did you know that Earth isn't the only planet to have a moon?
Huh?
In fact, Mars has 2 of them. And Jupiter has 79.
That's a lot of moons.
So what is it that makes a moon and not some random rock in the sky? Well, think of it like a planet having a younger sibling. A younger sibling who is so drawn to you that they run circles around you all day long and never go away.
Hey, big sister! Look at me! I'm over here! Now I'm on this side! Now I'm over here! Now I'm back on that side!
Okay, well, maybe not exactly like that. It's true that the Earth is strong enough to draw and keep the moon nearby. But the moon has its own power over our planet. Can you guess which one of these it is? Is it A, the moon casts spells on humans? B, the moon affects our hair growth? C, the moon affects the ocean tide? D, once a century, the moon projects small rocks that land in the desert? If you said C, the moon affects the ocean tide, you're right. But how is the moon able to affect how far ocean water comes inland? Stick around to find out. And now, back to Who Smarted. So, Smarty Pants, can you guess how the moon is able to make the Earth's oceans rise and fall? I'll give you a hint. It's the same mysterious force that causes the moon to revolve around the Earth, and the Earth to revolve around the sun. Did you get it? Did you say gravity? The Earth's gravitational pull is strong enough to reach the moon and cause it to orbit the planet. But the moon has its own gravity too. Not as strong as Earth's, but it is strong enough to affect our oceans. When the moon is close to an ocean, it pulls on the water, causing a low tide. And when the moon revolves away from a particular ocean, the gravity lessens and we experience high tide. But the moon doesn't just affect the water in the ocean. It also affects the water in you. This is why the moon is said to cause changes in your mood or heighten your emotions. And this also must be why it causes wolves to howl at the moon, right?
Huh?
Wrong. That's just a myth. Wolves howl to be social.
Oh.
It just happens to be at night when the moon is out. Despite how much we know about the moon, there are plenty of unknowns too. which is why there was a space race to see which country could put a person on the moon first, and the USA won. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins made it safely to the moon and back. In the next few years, 24 people made the trip to the moon, 12 people walked on the moon, and 3 people went twice. So you probably think we send people to the moon all the time now, right? So when was the last trip to the moon? This year? Last year? 5 years ago? 10? Would it surprise you to know there hasn't been a trip to the moon since 1972, nearly 48 years ago? Why do you think that is, Smarty Pants? Well, it's pretty much the same reason you're not allowed to buy certain game apps on your mom's phone. Because it costs too much. Moon missions are expensive, and the next planned mission is way more ambitious than just landing and retrieving materials. The current plan is to build a moon base so humans can spend extended amounts of time living and learning on the moon. Hey, movie voiceover guy, can you tell us what it would be like living on the moon?
Sure. It's a world where temperatures reach 260 degrees when the moon is exposed to the sun, only to drop to negative 280 degrees when the moon revolves away. These temperature shifts occur every 14 days. It's also a world entirely covered by a sandy substance with no large bodies of water. So pack plenty to drink. But there are plenty of craters thanks to comets, meteors, and asteroids hitting the moon. Better them than us, unless you're living there.
Okay, so the moon may not be a great vacation spot just yet, but it is our closest friend and neighbor, and it can sometimes bring out the best in us. Hey, you fixed my car. Thanks, werewolf. Dinner's on me.
No problem. I'd love some beef chow mein.
A big shout out to Oliver from Farnborough in the UK. Thanks for being a fan, Oliver. Thanks for listening to Who Smarted. Please remember to subscribe on your favorite podcast app. That's a way to make sure you don't miss an episode, and it helps us grow the podcast. And if you're not subscribed to our newsletter, subscribe at www.whosmarted.com, and you can get a free activity guide with every single episode. This episode, Moon, was written by Jenna Hoban and voiced by Taya Garlid, Katie Lou Chastain, and Josh Hahn, and narrated by Jerry Colbert. Technical direction and sound design by Josh Hahn, and our associate producer is Max Kamaski. Who Smarted was recorded and mixed at the Relic Room Studio. Theme song by Brian Suarez. Lyrics written and performed by Adam Tex Davis. Who Smarted was created and produced by Adam Tex Davis and Jerry Colbert. This has been an Atomic Entertainment production.
I saw where